Thursday crop people. I wanted to give you a little inspiration for the watercolor challenge I have posted that is due tomorrow if you want to participate. I will be providing a prize for the one that I think everyone likes the best and the one that I feel used the watercolors the best. Watercolors are a fun technique, easy to use, and I enjoy using them, but the kind of techniques I'm going to show you don't really require any kind of skill. Like, you don't need to blend your colors if you don't want to. They're pretty much just swoosh on and enjoy. So I want to show you what I did, and I'm going to walk you through how I did it. Let me see if I can get my camera down here so you can see it like that. So this is the page I have under construction right now. I'm going to do the matching one for you so you can see how I did it. Basically, I spattered first, and I used watercolor, and I used some gold shimmer pen, which I don't have here right at my disposal. I must have put it someplace. But these are my shimmer pens, and they were great, and the gold one is a lot of fun. These other ones are good colors too to use. You could use sapphire, you could use peach, you could use candy apple, any of the colors you like. But I chose the blue, and actually the blue is actually watercolor, and I used this watercolor set from Close to My Heart, and I'll show you how I used this dark one, and I used this orange one to spatter along with the gold shimmer pen. So that's how I started with this all around the background. Then I went to doing this edging, which was really, really fun because I decided to get out the stamp of the month for this month, which is called Wing Masterpiece. And it's a really, really pretty stamp set. And you can get it for $5 if you put in a $50 order. Now, I know a lot of my club folks did do that already, so you're all set. This will be coming your way soon. I put the order in today. But what I created with it was I wanted to get going on some things, so I said I'm going to play around with it. So these I used watercolor on. This is what I'm going to use on this page. But I also did the butterflies. This is on black paper, white paper, black embossing powder. All 4 of those. Here's the other one that goes to that. This one I haven't done anything with yet, but I kind of like it just the way it is. I may just add some dots to it. This is gold on black, Princess Gold. Embossing powder on black. And then I did, this one's in black, on black, and actually this one is colored with watercolor on black. So I may do the same to this one. So I cut those all out. And then I did, this one's pretty too, you'd like. This is the black with the orange color, 2 kinds of orange color of watercolor. And then this is a lighter one with the white. I think I like the black better. I like the more contrasted ones. So then I decided, well, I wanted to try copper because they have that new copper ore paper. So I did copper, and I don't know what I'll do to these yet because I just did them and I didn't do anything with them yet. I had my embossing stuff out, so I decided to just do a few of them and use them, you know, when I'm ready to do a layout with them on it. I can show you what else I did. Oh, here's the blue one with the white, and here is, I really like this one. However, on this one I used the metallic pen, so it has a little bit more of a sheen. And when I used them, I kind of just put it on there. But then I took some alcohol in a spray bottle, which I have over here. I just use an old spray bottle from Eyeglass Cleaner, and I put alcohol in it. Let me see which one's my alcohol. See, I just used an old spray bottle from Eyeglass Cleaner, and I put alcohol in it. And I sprayed a piece of paper towel, and I rubbed it a little bit. And it really kind of blended it a little, and it took some of it off. And it took it off where I had messed up with the lines, and it also took it off the embossing so you could see the detail of the stamp. So I really liked that idea. I'm going to play with that a little more, but for this one I wanted to do with just the watercolors. So anyways, that's what I've been up to, playing with this winged masterpiece. And so I was really pleased with these results, but I'm going to do this page for you. So how I began was I spattered, obviously, there's the spatters. Then I took 2 pieces of copy paper to get my border, and I put them at 1/2 inch. So I used my ruler. I gotta turn over my mat though. buddy. Here we go. Turn over your mat. Take out your, I have my messy mat underneath because I'm going to use that when I stamp. And I'm going to turn my mat back over again. But to measure, I simply line up, I don't know if you can see me, I'm lining, I'll do it over here farther so you can see what I'm doing. I'll line up my paper edge right on the 6, right down all the way down on the 6. Then I bring my ruler in and I put it on the 1/2 inch because I went over a 1/2 inch. I put my ruler right on the 1/2 inch. And then I slide this in a little bit. I kind of eyeball the top and the bottom. Well, actually, you don't really have to. If you turn your ruler around, I've got it on millimeters. If you turn it around, you can actually get your 1/2 inches on the top and the bottom if you line the ruler up properly. Let me see if I got that straight here. This is the part that takes a minute, and you have to get it straight. If you want to, you could tape it down so it stays straight, but you really have to get this part straight first. And then bring your paper in. So I'm going to move my ruler over. This is one of those cork backs that you can get at any old hardware, any old office supply store, cork back rulers. It's my favorite ruler. Probably the cheapest one too. So now I've got my ruler exactly lined up. So now I can come down here on my 1/2 mark on the bottom and push my paper up, put my paper on the edge of the ruler, and then push it up till I get to the 1/2 mark. And then the 1/2 mark here. Now, if anybody knows me, you know this is not my traditional MO. I do not normally do things like this. So now what I'm going to do is carefully pull my paper over, and I'm going to tape it down over here so I know it's in place and it's not going to interfere with my stamping. So I'm just going to tape it in place with a little piece of Post-it note tape. Again, office supply store. Works great. Does not take off your paint. Does not take off your stamping. It works awesome. Goes quite a long way too. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Except on this side, I really only have to do the 1/2 inch because I can line the paper up with the other piece on the top and the bottom. So I really only need to get my 1/2 inch mark on this side. Just like so. Turn it around, don't want millimeters. Alrighty, here we go. Although my new sewing machine measures in millimeters. I have to get used to it, although it gives you the conversion for inches. We really should be like the rest of the world and use millimeters, but we don't. Alrighty, so then, see, I can line my paper up at the top and the bottom. I know it's hard to see on the camera probably because I'm using white paper, but I don't have colored copy paper. I only have white. So, but copy paper is the right width so that you can really get your stamping right up to the edge if you use your foam mat. So I'm trying to get that right on the edge, and it's a little tricky to do. But once you get it, you can tape it right down again. See, now I'm going to tape this here, and then it'll stay in place if you don't mess around too much. I'll put a little piece here, a little piece at the top edge, just like so. So it's not going to be taped here, so you're just going to have to, but you're only going to stamp around here, so you don't need to do that anyway. It isn't going to go anywhere because you're stamping down on it. So now I'm going to turn my mat over to the sponge side because I found that that actually worked the best to stamp with the black. And then I'm going to use my mess mat because it will over, my stamp the way I'm using it is going to go over the edge. So I want to get this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. All right, so now I took the butterfly piece and I put it on my long block because I don't really have a wide enough block to put this whole thing on, and you don't really need the whole thing anyways. You really only need the one part of the wing without the antenna because we're only doing it 1/2 inch over here. It's not very big. So then I took my plain old black. Now you could use your this black too if you wanted. You gotta let it dry. This Memento black will work great. I suppose your StazOn would too, but I don't think you need to use StazOn. But this will work great. And this actually worked fine. It didn't bleed when I put water on it. So now I'm going to take my ink pad. And I'm going to ink up just that side. And I really don't need to go all the way to the edge because I'm really only going to use the center part of it. And I gotta get that out of the way because it's going to be right in my way there. And I started at the top. I got to make sure you check for good coverage of your ink. Now see, I don't think I have enough ink in the center of that, so I've got to cover it more. That's the beauty of the clear stamps. You can really see where the ink is if you hold it up. So I'm holding it up, and now I'm going to stamp it so that I have the wing way up at the top here, and just going in enough over the paper. You'll see how it stamps on the paper and on the edge here when I do it. And I hold it and I press good, because remember, you want the ink to transfer. You got to give it enough time. So this does take a little bit of time, but see how nice that comes out. And then you have this over here to contend with, but don't worry about that till you move your paper, because then it won't get on the back if you just leave it right where it is. I didn't wash that off until the end. And then the next one, I just went up close to that, as close as I could get. And again, just went down. And you'll see that you're only picking up the flowers when you do this. So I will continue going around and doing this so you can see how I finish it. I'm going to stop the video for now, and I'll start it up after again.